Good day to you. Today I'm reviewing Death Comes for the Archbishop by Willa Cather, or Willa Cather. I'm told that it's actually pronounced Cather, but I learned it Cather, so I'm going to say Cather. So Willa Cather was an author from the early 20th century. She wrote, I've read 3 of her books: O Pioneers, which I recommend, Song of the Lark, which was good too, and then Death Comes for the Archbishop. So Death Comes for the Archbishop is the one that I believe actually all 3 of these are really on the great books list, but obviously I'm reviewing this one, Death Comes for the Archbishop. I read Death Comes for the Archbishop as an adult, and I want to say right now that I'm not saying that a high schooler shouldn't read it. I'm just saying that a high schooler, it's going to mean something different to you than it did to me. And that's only because you are in high school and I'm an adult. Not because there's, lewd material in it. It's just, at least for me, I know that a high school me would have read Death Comes for the Archbishop and thought, this is the most boring book I ever read. I can't believe a teacher made me read it. And I hate school and I hate literature class, and why can't they have us read good books that with action and excitement? That would have been my high school view of it. And if you are more mature than I was as a high schooler, which is probably very likely, then you might actually appreciate this book if you read it now. Now, I read it, I think at the age of 35, and I found it to be a moving experience. But that's only because I am closer to death now. And so I think, so very basic idea, first off, it is a classic. It's a beautiful book, and it's not, as far as, inappropriate stuff, nothing inappropriate. It's literally like the story of a saint, just saying, but told in a beautiful literate style and novelized style, a fictional telling of an archbishop that is based on the Archbishop of Santa Fe, the first Archbishop of Santa Fe. And he, just so you know, this book is, at least was, required reading for all New Mexico students. And I don't think, I suspect it might not be anymore because it is so Catholic. Interestingly, Willa Cather was not Catholic. She just heard the story about Bishop Lamy, the real bishop that this book is based on, and decided, wow, what a great story. I'm going to write a novel about him. And so it's I think 5 big chapters in the book. And they're each just kind of stories in his life, with the last one being titled Death Comes for the Archbishop, which you shouldn't be surprised is about him dying. And it's really just episodes in the life that I like to think that the reason it's called that is because she's recognizing this is a saint who knows he's going to die one day and is trying his best to live a good life with good works and doing great things, and like building the church, baptizing the people who haven't seen a priest for years, and hearing confessions for hours and hours and hours, visiting these villages out in the middle of nowhere who, like I said, haven't seen a priest for years. So he's doing marriage after marriage after marriage, and confession after confession after confession, and baptism, because some of these people, they're Catholic, but they can't really live their life. They haven't had a priest to bring them the sacraments. So this great, just grueling life of saintliness that he lives. And it's there's also a story of friendship. There's a priest that helps him out the whole time, who, well, I won't ruin what happens, but that's who we see this great holy friendship between the two of them that ends up being quite sad, because eventually the friend is chosen to be the bishop in Denver. I think it was Denver. And then ends up, so then they have to separate, and I don't think they ever saw each other again, but wrote letters back and forth to each other. And so you have all these stories that are leading toward this man becoming dying a saintly, holy death. So that's the basic plot of it. That's it. If that's what you want, and that you're okay with that as a book, I think definitely read this. If you're expecting a book with action, this is not going to be it for the most part. And my personal opinion is it's probably, I think most kids, just like I said, most high schoolers, particularly if they don't go to our school, are probably not going to appreciate this book until they're older. And that, that happens. It goes the other way. There are plenty of books as a kid that I read and as a teenager that I read that I thought were amazing and profound. And I picked them up again and I thought, what a self-indulgent moron, selfish jerk. Why is this character, why did I even appreciate this book? Who is this? And, I something that I thought was really great and awesome and liberating as a teenager, and now I read as an adult. And I just think this is garbage. I can't believe anybody would read this and believe this stuff. Well, and the reverse would happen for something like, in my opinion, for Death Comes for the Archbishop. So there it is. I've said it. Of course I did. That's what I see, and I do recommend it if you have a deep enough soul to read it. All right, St. Dominic Savio, pray for us.